Hello and welcome to the lecture on multi-dimension array. If you go to example 7, open the logical flow file, learn to define and use multi-dimension arrays. Okay, so part of this will create this PHP file. So let's understand what is a multi-dimension array. It's very simple to understand. An array inside an array is called as a multi-dimension array. Means it has array inside an array. I'm gonna see with an example. It's in simple words, it is array holding one or multiple arrays. Okay, so what is a single dimension array? Okay, so if you say array 0 1 2 3, this is a single dimension, means you only have indexed running from 0 to 1 and each element is just having one value. It's not an array value but a single value. Well, this is indexed array. Okay, similarly you can have single dimension associative array. We have seen this example previously, right? This is a single dimension associative array. Okay, even you have multiple values with key and value, it is still single dimension. Okay, and you can do a var dump of array 1. Okay, you still get one dimension of an array. There is no array inside an array. Okay, so let's define that. So we'll do a multi-dimension with indexed first, then we'll do with association. So we'll say array 2. So this is an array, and inside an array we define 3 arrays. Okay, this is the first array element, this is second, and this is the third. Okay, so here we say 6. So this is a multi-dimension array because there are arrays inside an array. The array actually holding 3 different arrays. Okay, so let's do a var dump, then we'll understand how to access this. Okay, so if you look at this, you have 3 elements, and the first element is array, the second element is array, the third element is array. Okay, the first array have 6 elements, the second array have 3 elements, and the third element is having 2 elements. First array actually have integers and all the values and all the indexes are there for that array. Okay, so let's write a for each loop to access this array. So we say for each array 2 as single array. Okay, now each of this value, right, is equal to this array. So now you can do a var dump of that array, var dump of single array, because every value that you extract is an array. Okay, single array is basically a single dimension array, right, because this becomes a single dimension array, and then you can do a var dump on that array, and if you print it, it's going to print all the values separately, right? If you want to iterate this single array as well, so you can do that. You can continue to say for each single array as values. Okay, so what you're doing here is you are still iterating the second array, this array. Okay, you take the first element, store it in an array, because the first element is again an array, you're using for each again on that array to print the values. Okay, so now you can echo now you can actually print the array here. And you can specify the comma here. Then you can end the, and you can specify the variable, and let's print the multi-dimension array. So it's gonna print like this, but you're actually iterating all the arrays. Okay, so that's how you basically access a multi-dimension array. Okay, what if a multi-dimension array is with an associative array? So I'm going to copy paste here the multi-dimension array with an associative array, just to save time in not typing this. We'll understand what is this, right? This is an multi-dimension with associative array. Associative because you have this symbol to mention the key. Okay, so this is the first key, this is the second key. The first key holds an array, the second key holds an array. Okay, it's very simple to understand. Okay, it is something like this. Okay, this is the key, first key and second key. Each key has a value and that value is an array. Okay, so it's something like this. You have a key which is pointing to an array. Okay, it is like that. And how do you access this, all the values in an array? It's actually very simple. You can still do for each array3 as you can do value array. You're just getting all the values, not the keys. And now you actually get the values. Each value is nothing but an array, right? So you can say value array as $values, and now you can actually print those values. Right, now you are accessing all the email IDs from this array. Okay, you are not mentioning key here, but you're trying to access all the values, and each value is an array, so you reiterate again on that array. How to access all the key value pair, right? How are you going to do it? So for this you have to understand that key is a string, value is an array, right? The key is a string, the value is an array. So when you iterate, you need to understand you cannot iterate key as an for each. You have to can do for each only for the value, because value is an array and key is a string. Remember this, key is string and value is arrays. Okay, now let's iterate this. Okay, for each all array3, now you can mention key and then you can mention value array. Okay, remember key is a string, so we can say echo values for key. Okay, and then you can iterate the values. Right, then you can say value for key email list 1, email list 2. This is the values for email list 1, and for this key these are the values. Okay, so I hope you have understood how to work and define with multi-dimension array. Multi-dimension array means array inside an array, and that could happen inside an associative array or it could be inside an indexed array. Okay, the single dimension doesn't have array inside an array. It's just one value for one given index. An index could be an index of integers, could be a key value of user defined based on associative array notation. Okay, so I hope it's very clear how to work with multi-dimension array. Again, do this exercise. Once you do an hands-on, you will get to understand this concept. Don't just watch the video and then make an assumption or understand this. Make a practice of doing multi-dimension array, because in associative array and multi-dimension array is a most common scenario you will work with PHP. Well, that's the end of this lecture on multi-dimension array, and I'll see you in the next one.